Hello, hello. How are you? Hope you're surviving these dense, energetic times. I just wanted to check in and discuss something that's showing up for me today. How to best describe it? So, what we're going through right now is an exploration of what's kind of trapped in our body, what's trapped in our beliefs and thoughts, and we're trying to move back into our imagination and our dreams. But we've been programmed from outside of ourselves to believe that certain things are true and that we've lost freedom and we'd have to give up our rights and other things, which is making no sense. So how do we go in and explore ourselves and start to become aware of where we blocked ourselves? What I want to state here is I'm committed to creating safe containers for self-exploration. Now, what does that mean? So where do you go? Where's the playground or the place that you go into to have an experience with someone? Do you let the world just bring it up and whatever the closest person is that can give you a contract about something, you kind of crash into? That could be on Facebook or through a community or a friend or a lover or other things? Or do you go to conscious spaces where you have a community of people, which I'm working to build, that have a set of tools to consciously migrate through all this kind of stuff, and it creates a safe space where people can start to kind of bump into each other and rub against each other and have experiences with people that are what I call kind of up-leveled a little bit. Up-level just means that they have an awareness of themselves, of their body, of what their feelings are, how to deal with triggers and trauma, and they basically don't just smash and crash other people. They kind of consciously step into something like, let's say I'm having a trigger with you or whatever, and we're having a conversation. Instead of me just yelling and screaming or trying to hit or something that might have happened at one point in my life, now I'm going to be like, holy shit, this doesn't feel good. Something's uncomfortable. How are you feeling? What's going on? Let's talk about it. Let's breathe. Let's talk. Let's sit down. Let's use our tools. Let's use our communication, those kind of things. If we can build a space where I call it a playground or a sandbox where people have similar tools, we can engage in that community or with the people of that community to have much more powerful, deep, moving experiences and move through our grittiness, our discomfort, our dis-ease in a very rapid way with other people. Or also stepping into community and allowing people to call us on our shit and say, hey, you're talking badly about yourself, what's going on? And that kind of awareness that can be reflected back to us can very rapidly move us through tough spots and keep us from kind of bottoming out or getting stuck in the muck that we're programmed to. So that's what I do here on my Facebook page, and I'm creating community around me, and I want to create events and workshops and different things that will basically allow people to rub up against each other in these ways. How to describe it? Rub up against each other is literally what it feels like, because we're kind of bumping into people in the world. We shopping at the grocery store, or somebody cuts in front of us online or whatever. And if we're staying in our house all the time, we're very limited in the amount of interaction that we have with other people. So what I'm trying to do is create conscious spaces where people come and then they have opportunities to interact with other people. And maybe at the beginning of the event or whatever, we just open the invitation to allow these things to happen. And then we agreed to be consciously, I don't like the word bound, but consciously agree to a way of interaction with other people that's different from what we had before, leaning into our discomfort and saying, oh, that doesn't feel good, but I'm going to have this discussion anyways, because I know that I'll be held here, and if things get out of control, somebody will be able to come and talk to me or kind of help me push back against what's showing up and that pain and that discomfort. So we just end up in this situation where we're constantly growing, and we're constantly having opportunities to work in with other people and talk to them and be vulnerable and say, hey, I have this pain in my chest when I'm talking to you, or you remind me, or I want to judge you, or something. If we can have those things consciously aware in community and be able to discuss them openly, we're going to very rapidly change and ascend and awaken to what's going on and what our stories are and what programs are underneath and what traumas we have. So I'm creating those kind of events. I'm going to have events from really basic where we just meet with people up into levels of consciously interacting with other people around touch and sexuality and feeling good and those kind of things. There's going to be a whole range of possibilities where people can go in, and where do you go right now to have an interaction with someone? You're going into dating, or going to the bar, or you're going to what? Can you imagine a conscious community of people that were uh, learning about their sacred sexuality and the holiness of who they are and self-love and that kind of stuff, and then you can interact with other people and have those kind of interactions. That may sound gritty and uncomfortable and all this kind of stuff, but we are all sexual beings. This is getting back to our birthright. This is getting back to a place, and it's going to be probably the grittiest place you're ever going to be, but you're going to grow so fast and you're going to move through things, and it's going to feel so good to basically go and ask for what you want and find people that want the same thing and interact with them. And I'm not talking about uh, just hooking up with someone or whatever. I'm talking about going in and asking for what you want. What's your body need? Do you want a massage? Do you want touch? Do you want pleasure? Do you want whatever? These things are all going to trigger you, because they even have triggers for me. But can you imagine a place where people are consciously going into them? I've been parts of communities where it was kind of swinger levels, and I've been to sacred sexuality workshops and all these kinds of things. And some of the deepest and most profound work I've ever done was to be able to sit in those spaces, even if I didn't participate, just sometimes observing or having interactions to figure out where my edges were and where I felt uncomfortable and why I was scared or sad, or why I was pushing people away or sabotaging myself or having somebody reflect to me. Those are the most poignant places where you're going to start to grow and expand. And I'm committed to bringing those spaces, even though they're gritty and maybe it's scary or uncomfortable or whatever. Those are the places we grow. This is where our self-mastery comes. This is where we expand, is leaning into things that maybe are uncomfortable or socially not typical, or those kind of things, and having them with another person that can kind of reflect and say, hey, I feel the same way and I want the same thing or whatever, but something feels uncomfortable. Can we talk about it, or whatever? Can you imagine how much growth can happen in that moment, in having a safe container to do that, and then having containers where people that have done some of this work are wandering around and can basically help and guide, or if things are getting heated or a person's trigger is coming up, have them be able to reflect for them and say, hey, you're getting triggered. What's going on? Can you breathe for a sec? Let's talk. Let's step over here and let's get this done. These are all tools that we need to learn to be able to expand and grow as a conscious being. So this is the spaces I'm committed to, and if people feel some value in that or whatever, just message me or whatever. And I want to set up these workshops in these places and have these discussions with people. But I've been shut down in my past, so I'm a little confused if people really want these, or if this is too much for people, or whatever. So give me some reflection back. I'd love to hear it. I want to do these things. I want to bring it forward, and I want to make this part of my life. And I imagine it just conscious spaces where people are connecting and being deep and direct and communicating in powerful ways, and then they leave expanded and able to have consent in their world, be able to say their yeses and nos. These are amazing things that people don't have workshops or tools or communities to be able to explore of, and I'm dedicated to bringing them forward. So this feels a little bit edgy and scary for me, and I'm bringing it up. I'm stating it here so that people can have their own choice and participate and grow and smile and shine and love themselves, because this is what it's all about. So anyways, I love you all. I thank you for those that tuned in and listened, and I wish you a good day, and just give me some feedback. What do you want? What do you want me to bring forward? This is stuff I'm here to do and bring, and I don't know how to bring it forward, and it's scary as hell to me to bring them forward, but I know I can do it. I've held space for this before, and I'm ready. I'm stepping back into my power of these things. I'm not doing it through other people. I'm doing it myself now, and taking my power directly and focusing it and getting into my passion so that other people can get in their passion, and we can have amazing growth experiences as groups, as communities, as light workers and people leading the way. So I love you all. I thank you for listening. You have a good day.